Hello, my friends, welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to be drawing and summarizing the plot of 1984 because why not? So basically what I'm doing is my friend on Discord, well, not really friend, but like person I'm the server mod of, humble flex, asked for a subtle bi-pride flag wallpaper, or computer background, so I'm doing that. I wonder if you did a gender void one. I still don't know what gender void means, but okay. Do I sound like a boomer? I sound like a boomer. And I'm like younger than most of them, so like, guess I'm just stupid. No, hold on. Actually, I'm gonna do a pastel. So basically, in 1984, there's this dude named Winston, and he is in this oppressive regime. Yeah. Hold on. Wait. Where's my book? There we go. Page 20 ASMR. So, he is in this authoritarian regime where this grand and illustrious party rules over them and their every move. So yeah, I love dystopias, but I mean, I never really got them because, like, I guess maybe it's because I'm a kid, so like, it's like frighteningly similar to like what I actually experienced as like a kid. Like, oh no, my friends might tattle on me if I do the things that the party doesn't want me to do. The party, in this case, being like the adults, like the people at the school. So yeah, Winston, he's like a low-ranking member of the party in London, in the nation of Oceania. Everywhere he goes, even like his own home, the party watches him through like the telescreens. And he sees like the face of like the like omniscient ruler of the party, the grand and illustrious whatever, Big Brother. So we don't really know who Big Brother is. He's just like the leader of the party. Currently, the party is forcing the implementation of this invented language called Newspeak, which prevents political rebellion by eliminating all words related to it. So, I mean, this reminds me of like in North Korea, there's no word for love. Here, there's gonna be no word for like rebellion or uprising. Even thinking rebellious thoughts is illegal, like a thought crime. So, they're policing their thoughts now. That's a little bit messed up, isn't it? I'm trying not to cuss here. I might. So, sorry if I do. Try and keep this family friendly. So, Winston feels frustrated by the oppression and control of the party. By the way, this book is absolutely horrifying. Like, it's a psychological horror. Amazing though, but a psychological horror nonetheless. So, like, if you're like sensitive to psychological horror, read things. Like, don't. So, he's frustrated because, like, it, like, prohibits free thought, sex, is that a bad word? No, that's not a bad word. And the expression of individuality. So, sorry. Winston doesn't like the party and illegally purchased a diary to write his criminal thoughts. He also, is, like, fixated on the, powerful party member named O'Brien, who Winston believes is a secret member of the Brotherhood, like a mysterious legendary group that works over the party. The party members are routinely subjected to this thing called attunements of hate, where basically, like, they have this guy, Goldstein, I believe. Yeah, Goldstein. Who, like, or whatever, who, like, comes in and like, spews anti-party propaganda. But they never take the time to listen to the propaganda. Because, I mean, obviously, if their thing starts making sense, then that must mean that they've successfully brainwashed you, and you don't want that to happen. So they use the tactic of basically like sticking their fingers in their ears and in others' ears to make sure that like no one like lesser of them can like be brainwashed by the rebellion, because I mean, we don't want the brainwashings. We only want the brainwashings by the party. Or at least they do. And like that's part of what makes this book so terrifying. Like it's like dystopic, I mean, obviously, and like terrible, but also like kind of realistic. Like this could happen. And like it's like kind of like a character study, you know, because like this could feasibly happen to like a group of people if they were like brainwashed to such an extent as the party does. I just think it's crazy, but also a good book. So he works the Ministry of Truth, where like he alters historical records to fit the needs of the party. And he noticed a coworker with a beautiful, dark-haired, grand and lovely girl staring at him. And he worries that she's an informant who will turn his end for his thought crime. Because he committed a thought crime, saying that he hated Big Brother in his diary, which is definitely a thought crime and an act of rebellion. He is scared by the party's control of history. The party claims that Oceania has always been allied with East Asia in a war against Eurasia, but Winston recalls a time that is not true. The party also claims that Goldstein, the alleged leader of the Brotherhood, is the most dangerous man alive, but that does not seem plausible to Winston. Winston spends his evening wandering through the poorest neighborhoods of London, where the proles are free of party monitoring. So Winston thinks that the only hope of rebellion, because Winston is rebellious now. Ooh, he's not like other party members. Because they are 85% of the population. But they live like a pretty comfortable lifestyle, and they obviously don't have access to the news. They're the super proles. And if they did, it would only be the news that the party gives them. So, and they live like cushy lives. Like, I mean, they're like not good lives, but like they're cushy. So like maybe if they got them, they could uprise, but there's like no chance. So Winston goes back into the shop where he obtained his diary from, and he feels like at home and happy there because there's no telescreen. And he looks around, and like the guy who runs it like spells like nursery rhymes and like childhood tales, and Winston feels happy. But then when he comes out, he sees the dark-haired girl again, and he feels like she's onto him, and like he thinks of thoughts of murder but isn't feeling up to it, so he considers thoughts of suicide, and then like he like helps her up, and she slips him a love note. She tells him her name, Julia, and they'd like begin like an affair, but they're always on the lookout for signs of party monitoring. They have to like plan their dates for like a whole month in advance, but then eventually they rent a room above the store where Winston bought the diary. The relationship lasts for some time. Winston is sure they will be caught and punished sooner or later. Winston knows that he's been doomed since he wrote his first diary entry. While Julia is more pragmatic and optimistic. As Winston's relationship with Julia progresses, his hatred for the party grows more and more intense. At last, he receives the message that he's been waiting for O'Brien to see him. So Winston and Julia travel to O'Brien's apartment. As a member of the powerful inner party, Winston belongs to the other party. O'Brien leads a life of luxury that Winston can only imagine. So O'Brien confirms to Winston and Julia that he hates the party and says he works against it as a member of the Brotherhood. He indoctrinates Winston and Julia into the Brotherhood and gives Winston a copy of Emmanuel Goldstein's book. Emmanuel is Goldstein's first name. So it's the manifesto of the Brotherhood, like the guide to overthrowing an authoritarian regime. And so they go up and they read the book. And it basically gives a rough history of the world and how they're not actually at war. And Julia has the theory that this might have been earlier actually. I can't remember. I haven't read this book in a month. That the party might be bombing its own citizens, which is not true but is disturbingly plausible. So they figured out that the party is doing this because war is the only thing that can keep it's the best thing to spend all your economic values and resources on, and it's thought of as good as patriotism, even though it's terrible. But you can spend all your economic resources on it and cause pain and suffering, but it'll be fine because it's for the sake of good. Because war is thought of as good. I mean, it's always been crazy to me. Though maybe I'm a little bit crazy. Maybe I'm overanalyzing this book, but this book was definitely meant to be analyzed. So, then we figure out, halfway through that, there's actually a telescreen behind, a picture, on the wall. So, Big Brother has been spying on them the whole time, heard all the authoritarian regime plotting to overthrow Ing, and, yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. So, they're obviously very worried, because, now they're gonna die because the party's gonna kill them. So they're not, they're not having a good time. Because it is revealed that, Mr. Charrington, who, owns the store, has been a member of the secret police the whole time, the Thought Police. So has O'Brien, and he, in fact, wrote part of the book to entice new rebels. So Winston's just having a really bad day, you know. Sorry, I'm trying to, accomplish a glitch effect on these bubbles. And I'm also trying to, think of the story at the same time. So, Winston is taken to, away from Julia to a place called the Ministry of Love. It's a very nice name, not a nice place. Winston finds that O'Brien is a party spy who literally pretended to be a member of the rebellion to trap, Winston into doing an open act of rebellion against the party. O'Brien spends months torturing and brainwashing Winston, who struggles to resist. And eventually, Winston feels complacent. It, only lasts for a second, but, eventually he feels complacent. He sees the 4 fingers inside of 5. That's what inspired the 4 light scene from Star Trek. That terrifying scene. That scared me so much. Oh my gosh. So I was just a kid reading this. I was 11, and I got it as a gift or something. And I kept reading and waiting for there to be a happy ending, but there never was. Not the best book to read at midnight when you're 11. but 10 out of 10 would read again. Would be terrified by again. So yeah. So eventually he like snaps and calls out for Julia in his sleep. And O'Brien does not like this. So he gets sent to room 101, the final destination for anyone who opposes the party. And all the prisoners have been terrified at the prospect of being sent to room 101, and here we find out why. It's because room 101 is specifically designed to be the whoever goes there's worst fear. As for Winston, he has this terrible fear of rats. So throughout the novel, Winston had like recurring nightmares about rats. So there was some foreshadowing to this and didn't come out of nowhere. I was happy about that. But anyway, O'Brien straps a cage full of rats into Winston's head and prepares to allow the rats to eat his face. Winston snaps and calls out for him to do it to Julia instead of to him. I mean, not very good boyfriend there, buddy. I would break up with him if I was Julia. Depends on how hot he is, though. I totally forgot about this bubble, so we're just gonna erase it. Pretend that never happened. Actually, we don't need to do those things. That's. We have is good enough because we are good enough. Yay. Anyway. Giving up Julia is what O'Brien wanted from Winston all along. Winston's spirit is broken, and he is released to the outside world. He meets Julia, but no longer feels anything for her. He has accepted the party entirely and has learned to love Big Brother. And now he's just a normal, complacent citizen who is probably going to get shot one day. Yeah. Great story there, you know? Very happy story that does not make me depressed at all. I mean, I really like this story. I think it's interesting. It's chock full of things that I can analyze. So yeah, it makes me sad. It makes me very sad. But it's good. But also it makes me sad. Now I just feel sad, kind of depressed. Good book though, recommend reading. Person on Discord isn't gonna like this, but this is the best I'm gonna get them.